All right, I want to get launched into this. What the heck are we talking about today? So, Joe and Denise, would you introduce yourselves? Joe, you start first, then Denise, where you guys are, and also a little bit about your area, your region, and how long you've been at Supreme. If you wouldn't mind launching, Joe, that'd be
Absolutely.
great.
Yep, sure. My name's Joe Bear. I'm with the First Integrity region. So Supreme bought our company about a year ago, a little over a year ago, a year and a month ago. We have branch in St. Louis, which is where our company was based. And then we've got a few branches closer on the East Coast in Florida, South Carolina, and Tennessee as well. So yeah, 1 year. 1 year was,
I know your anniversary. Happy anniversary. We're
thank
so,
you.
so thankful you guys are here. How about you, Denise? I know you're
Well, I have
obviously
the
in that.
same background as far as, First Integrity Region, been here over a year. But I was obviously with First Integrity for over 13 years. So I was there for a long time. And the affinity program, or what we called Partnership Plus then, was all I did. So I'm very well versed with the program and trying to help you all get some more business from that.
And that's what today's about. So I want to start, and I just want to start with a very, very basic question. And let's just pretend nobody knows what you're talking about, because we've got people on here who maybe know a little bit about it, some that probably know a lot about it, and then we have some that know nothing about it. And this is really for loan officers, their managers, and or regionals, so you can expand your business. So Joe, if you wouldn't mind giving a high level, very basic, very simple explanation. What is affinity?
Affinity is a tool that can be used to increase your referral relationships, just like other real estate agents, or from the standpoint, maybe even treat a bank or a depository like an additional loan officer. And you set up these relationships with the depositories, and then once you provide great service, you show them the value through fee income. We take care of the compliance. All these different tools that we have, we provided for them collateral. Then you have a source of referrals coming back to you from really stable borrowers, because if they're coming from a bank or a credit union, most of the time they've been vetted. So it's a great resource and a great tool to help you increase your business. Riches
And
and
yeah, riches and niches. That's right, Joe. Thank you. Denise, anything that you want to add to that? I know there's going to be a whole bunch that we're going to get
Yeah.
into here.
I mean, I would just say it's not, for me, it's a whole nother source of obviously referrals, right? And it's a huge partnership. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many times I've gone back to my partners with needing a quick auto loan refinance or something along those lines to get a deal done. And they move quickly because of that relationship that we've formed. So it's, and there's bond loans that we can't do through this program. So it's another source for them, for you as an originator, to get another source of loans that we can't compensate them on. But again, it's a deal that you wouldn't have got if you didn't have that relationship with that depository.
How many years have you guys been doing this?
so our company, we started doing it in 2001.
Wow.
When I started with the company, my dad had 4 relationships. That was 2011. And then I recruited Denise over with those 4 relationships, and she helped us grow it to 36 different banks and credit units at our peak. So we've been doing this for many, many years. I mean, it's right now, I ran the numbers since we got everything fully built out on the Supreme side. In the spring, we were about 16%, rounding, 16% of our business came from banks and credit unions.
Oh, wow. How many banks and credit unions are you working with currently?
Well, with the transfer, it was we lost a couple. The other thing that we're
Sure.
seeing in the market is just based on consolidation of, Canadian banks and credit unions. But we have, I think, currently 13 that we've moved.
13. That's great. And on average, just units a month, Denise, that you're doing with this program,
I would say between 5 and 6.
which is phenomenal.
Yeah,
It's phenomenal.
right.
Yeah. So just again, I'm just kind of going back to my third grade mind here, just to keep this very, very basic, very simple. From the standpoint as a loan officer, it's another pillar of business. I can go out and begin to actively start marketing to banks, to credit unions to get the business. And in exchange for that, on the majority of programs, I can pay them a fee. right? Okay.
Correct.
And if there's, I just want to keep it very basic because some people are really new to this and some are very experienced at it. I think it's such a great pillar that you can add. And again, to your point, Denise, there's programs that we're not able to pay them on, specifically bond. However, they don't have those programs anyway. Majority of them don't have it. So let's go into some specifics here. And I want to start with you, Joe. How, if I'm a loan officer out here and I'm listening to this and I go, oh, I want to do this. I mean, I think about this. It just, again, if you're a new loan officer, you should be doing this. Sorry, this is exactly where you should go. It's exactly how you should begin to go get business because most people won't do this. Am I right?
Oh, it's completely underserved.
Right.
So
So let's start diving into a little bit more detail now that we have kind of a basic. And I think, again, if you have questions, throw them in the chat. I will grab them at the end of the call and we'll come back specifically to maybe ones that are important for you. But for now, just keep them in there and then we'll look back. So I'm a loan officer, or I'm a regional, I'm a branch manager. How do I get started to do this? Joe, starting with you.
So Denise has put together a great guide, and right now she and her team are using AI to find targets, right? So not every bank and credit union is a good fit for this. So we're looking for traditionally banks or credit unions that have $250 million worth of assets or under. They have one or two bank branches. I mean, sometimes they might have 5 or 6, right? Sometimes
And
you
you
go,
can just chat GPT, Grok for your area, put that question in. Is that what you're doing, Denise? Okay,
Yep.
super easy.
yes. And there's also great associations like there, and I can't remember the acronyms for all of them, but in Missouri, it's the Missouri Independent Bankers Association. Every state has an association like that. And those smaller institutions are often ignored by the Quickens of the world, by the Securians of the world. And those are our bigger competitors with us, True Home Solutions. So this is a good opportunity to target those smaller institutions. And the quicker you can get to, depending on what it is, the branch manager, the president, the CEO, the owner, the better off, even the CFO at some institutions, the better off you are. Because as soon as you come in the door to them and say, guys, we're going to help you with a problem you have where you're losing customers right now to Bank of America, Chase, Wells, et cetera. We're going to help you generate fee income because that's a key word for banks. And we're going to help you with the compliance risk for it. Those 3 things in front of the right person, like I said, the president, the CEO, the CFO, those 3 statements alone will get them to listen to you.
So something I want to just put out to you guys, and again, Denise and Joe, as you can tell, going way back, they have been developing the assets for this program. And it's their proprietary information that they have built from scratch. And there's two ways you can go about this, right? So there's 2 ways you can do it. Try to do it yourself. I will tell you when I think back again to all the years of watching people try to do it themselves, and some of you probably remember B2B. That was a company that you did that kind of affiliate type stuff, and I remember finally going, I don't know how to do this. So I signed up with them and got all the assets, and then it became a pillar of my business. So 2 ways to go. You can attempt to do this yourself, go for it, or you can work with Joe and Denise. So maybe give a little bit of an overview too on that, Denise, for the team.
Sure. Well, I put together, I don't know if Matt, if you want to pull it up now. Basically, I've created a one-stop shop to basically share with you how to do the job, essentially. So if you want to scroll down, there's, everything from advice on prospecting basics, using AI, scripts, co-branding. The hardest thing and what people I think get the most nervous about is actually going through the bank agreement itself, like the agreement they have to sign. Just putting together just the basic overview of the agreement, just so you don't have to try and read it like an attorney writes it, right? But just giving you the tools to help do your job better, right? So it breaks down everything for you on that piece of it. So I can, I'll definitely go through that one-on-one if you talk to your regional manager and decide you want to go through that with us.
And what's the cost, Joe, for people to participate with you? Because to me, this is a no-brainer. You've already done all the legwork. You've spent years and years creating it, building it. And again, I'm sure all of it has been vetted through compliance, through the legal team, because I know that's been done before we got on this call. I promise, Cody, we didn't go rogue.
We did not go
And
rogue. No.
yeah, all of it's been done. So what does that just generally look like, Joe, for them?
So it's similar to some of the other programs that we've rolled out, whether it's John Letty or through the reverse mortgage channel or Joe Jensen through construction channel. This is something that you'll need to talk with your regional manager. We have a small override that we get as a team. And then the regional manager, it's just from their perspective, it's just like any other product where you can set up your margins. And then the loan officer has their compensation as well that will be set on this product as well.
Do
So the
you also, do either one of you, if I say I'm said loan officer and I have a contact at a bank, I get in the door, do you even help them if they were to get on a Zoom with that? You do, okay,
Oh, absolutely. And
that's
frankly,
huge.
we kind of soft rolled this with a few different folks, a few different regions around the country. And it's something that both Denise and I are excited about and happy to do because we've done this for, almost 15 years now.
Yeah,
And so having that initial conversation, once you get the appointment, we need you to get the appointment. We don't have the relationship. We're not from those,
right,
right? Get the
right.
appointment with that person with the appropriate person, have us get on the call with you. And like I said, we've been doing this for 15 years almost. And, they want to hear about it. They don't want to lose customers to Bank of America. They don't want to lose customers to Chase. They all need fee income and they're all afraid of compliance. So saying that again, because those are the key words. And we want to be on those calls with you to hold your hand. And that's the benefit of working this program through our team.
So it's that's that smaller credit union, that smaller bank that you should be targeting and going after because they're not going to have the menu of products that we have here. How do you present it, Denise, from the standpoint in the very beginning? Because it's a fee income for them, to your point, Joe. What do they have to do? Because again, compliance, all of that
Right.
factors into it. What do they have to do on their side?
It's actually super easy, and I've made it super easy for loan officers who want to do the program. So basically, you can co-brand your marketing material with that bank loan officer who you're going to be working with for facilitating that. You add the partner just as you would a loan or a real estate agent into My Supreme, and then they share your link for that piece of it. And so you facilitated several of the items just by doing the basic things that are needed to do an application.
And then what do they get paid for doing all those things, those pieces, those simple pieces?
Does the bank or loan officer?
The loan officer.
Well, that's going to be up to the regional manager to determine the compensation. So
that was a trick question, Denise. Okay. What does the credit union get paid?
They get paid, it's negotiated in the contract. I would say anywhere between 50 basis points to 100 basis points, determining on, whatever, how competitive they want to be in the market.
Yeah.
The one thing I wanted to add to it as well is the loan does close in Supreme's name. So you, as the loan officer, you're going to be the one that's signing the 1003 and everything. So what's great about this program is all of these loans that close go towards your President's Club numbers, as well as, again, just shows you as the originator. So
yeah, Leo, you have a great point. And I guess I would love to hear how you've been able to refer, because it comes via credit union, obviously a bank, it could be a purchase, and then you end up with that purchase. And have you been able to refer these deals to realtors?
Oh, yes. I struggle with not having a lot of real estate agents that I work with because I feel like it has to be give and take, right? Like I want to make sure that I'm giving out as many referrals as I'm getting in. So With this, I have so many opportunities because I'm working with 3 or 4 credit unions and banks that don't have a real estate agent that they refer the business to. So they trust the partners that I'm working with to refer their customers out. So they'll call in to me or to the bank or credit union, want to do the application. We get them fully pre-approved, and then I give that solid lead to my real estate partner.
Yeah, great question, Bob. To me, again, I'm just listening to this and I think about all of the products and programs we have, and soon to have hobby farms too, right, Joe? That's coming. All the different things that we have, I would absolutely get very, very specific on our niches, because you might have a credit union or bank that has a mortgage department, but they're just very, very basic, right? So maybe, Joe, would you speak to everybody about that? Because again, that's a great question, Bob. What if they have a mortgage department?
Right, and so a lot of them do, but they're holding the loans on their own books, right? And they don't want to do that. They have lending ratios. So they can't hold a certain percentage of 30 or more than a certain percentage of 30-year fixed on their books. So once they get tight to that, they have to shut it off or convince somebody to do a balloon or a 10-year term or a 15-year term. The other thing is some of them or a lot of them are signed up only with Fannie Mae because maybe they're selling those loans through the Federal Home Loan Bank. So they're not doing Freddie products. And as you know, those are great for self-employed borrowers, or they're not doing government loans. So those are your keys to focus on traditionally if they already have a mortgage department. If they don't, man, come on, batter up, you know?
Yeah, well, I'm sure, and I'm sure this has been asked. Sal, you present a great question in there, is there something that prevents us from doing this with other mortgage companies? I'm sure that's a big compliance.
It
Joe, you
is.
good with this one, you're good at it.
Go ahead, Joe.
Thank you, ladies.
Sal, I can always count on you to ask the hard questions. Thank you, Sal.
So right now, it's only available to depositories. So that's how we're rolling the product.
Yeah, something to explore down the road. And George, thank you. Yeah, we are the credit union bank's partner, and we're not a threat because we're not a depository institution. And so I'm sure there's some give and take where you probably, Denise, refer business back to them, right? If
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's like I said, for auto loans, like if I know that one of mine is running a promotion for 4.99 for auto loans, I mean, I did it myself, refinanced with them. So, I mean, it's a great relationship.
Yeah. What's the threshold again? Remind everybody. I just want them to hear it from you, Joe.
I would start out at $250 million in assets, a couple bank location, 1 to 2 locations. Once you start pulling that and you're culling that list down, maybe go up to a $500 million in an asset class for the banks. And that's where I'd stay. I mean, we have one that is much larger than that. And frankly, and I've told the CEO previously that he should open his own mortgage division. And he's gun shy. And so we get business from it.
Yeah. And then Justin wants to know the top 3, I would say 3 to 5 products that you're seeing the biggest gains with the credit unions and banks with.
It's mostly going to be the government loans because a lot of times they'll want to keep the portfolio loans on their books and they're not signed up to do VA loans or USDA loans or FHA loans. So those are the ones that we see the most traction with and the most popular programs because, they can't do those in-house ever. Most of the time, they're not going to do an in-house loan with 5% or 3.5% down.
What else am I missing, guys, that you need to share that maybe I haven't asked as a question for our 90+ people on this call right now?
One of the things that you stress is preparation, right? Sarah, you talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
And this is something, if you haven't sold it or you haven't sold it in a long time, it's new, it's different. So practice, rehearse. Denise has a ton of scripts. We've got keywords to talk about. Get on a call with one of us and role play because it's a different mindset at these smaller community banks and credit unions than it is in most of the mid-size or larger banks when you walk in the door. And so the little things like when you go into a credit union, you're not talking about customers or clients at all. You're talking about members. And, when you go into a bank, that compliance is huge to, hey, we've got a strong compliance department. Here's how we vetted this contract previously with the different heads of the Division of Finance or whatever regulatory environment we have and what state it is. And those things are key for people to pay attention to. And that's where, you know, me and Denise and the rest of our team can be a help for you on that.
Again,
If
I'm
I-
unmuting. Go ahead,
Okay.
Denise.
I was gonna say, if I would just say anything, I wouldn't overcomplicate the process because,
Yep.
and I would start with the low hanging fruit by talking to your business partners who they work with now, maybe with a commercial bank, or have a friend that their daughter plays volleyball with that is just even a loan officer or even a teller at a bank location. Because as long as you start building those contacts up, those people can get you to the top. You're not gonna, unfortunately, unless you're super lucky and having a great day, just pick up the phone and have a chance to talk to the CEO. It just doesn't work that way. So
Yeah.
it's just starting off small and just letting people know that that's another part of your business that you can help them grow. So, I mean,
So I want to talk about this again. I'm going to nag people because that's what I do here as an old loan officer. I'm one of you, and I just want to encourage you to think about it from the standpoint of developing a milk route, meaning Chat GPT, figure out your banks, your credit unions, and figure out a milk route, and then get with Denise and Joe on all of this data and all of the assets they've put together to help you, and then put a plan together, and don't think it's going to happen the first time you drive the milk route, right? And that's a question, Denise, for you and Joe. How long typically on the cycle did it take before you started kind of making inroads with banks and credit unions?
I would probably say at least I would say the most business came from going to conferences, right? And
Yeah.
the conferences are great because you have the CEOs and everything there. But it took many late nights and probably 2 or 3 conferences later sometimes before we actually got to the point of setting up an appointment and a meeting to actually get to business. So I would say, I mean, it could take anywhere between 2 months, 6 months, or 2 or 3 years, depending on, you know, the relationship and how fast. Or you might just be lucky and they're looking for a mortgage provider right away, or they're mad at their provider that they're working with right now. And, you know, a lot of this business is a lot of hard work, but it's just being at the right place at the right time too.
Absolutely.
Did you go after their turn downs?
What do you mean?
Good idea.
No, I didn't.
You know, that's what I'm here for, Joe.
Right.
That's what I'm here for. I just, again, just kind of reflecting back, because I had a great relationship for many years with KeyBank here in Colorado. And I started out just going after their turn downs. And then ultimately, you know, I went after one-time, Sal, you're going to love it. I went after their one-time closings because they got rid of that product. And then Chaffa, the bond product, was really big for me. And they were a big part of my business. I mean, when I think back to it, Denise, to your point, they were 10% of my business a month just from KeyBank. And I just want to remind you too, I've said this, I'm going to say it again. I think you have to say things at least 7 to 10 times for it to all kind of to sink in, for those of us who are a little slower. And I shared it with you, Joe. Again, Robert Cialdini, he wrote a book called Persuasion. I remember learning this such a long time ago, but it changed my life as a salesperson. And he said, there's a natural balance that happens in relationship. And what he meant by that is you have to, at a minimum, now it might happen faster, but at a minimum, at least call on those people 7 to 10 times. And over that 7 to 10 times, eventually the scale starts moving.
Mhm.
And they can't take it after a while, because they're like, oh my gosh, there's Denise again. She's got her little flyer. She's got a little bag of, you know, some yummy thing for me. I got to throw her a bone. At some point they break down. Am I right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
So
mean-
don't get discouraged when you're out there making calls. Leo, your question, great question. What kind of objections do you encounter from the depositories?
So a lot of times, some of the smaller bankers, look at FHA loans like they're subprime. And so sometimes you have to remind them, these are not subprime products. And this is not, they're not predatory. These are, and if they get into non-QM, and that's something maybe we don't have set up right now, but I know we're working towards that. But these are not, this is not 2006 exploding arm, right? And those, not that those were bad loans, there was plenty of good ways to use those. But the reality is their perception was maybe the last time they did these themselves. So you have to remember, sometimes you need to re-educate them about the mortgage process, and you need to come across as the expert through that.
Yeah. Yeah. Denise, how about you? What do you come up against?
I mean, it's just easy for them to get off the phone real quick because at first you're just another person, vendor calling on them to try and get their business. But the key that you just have to keep stressing to them is that we're a true reflection of you, and we're helping you retain your business. Because if they go down the street to ABC Bank and they have a great, transaction with their mortgage, they might move their depositories, all of their assets and so forth. So the goal is we handle the compliance. We are a reflection of you, and that we work as a team to get the job done. So
Yeah. The other thing I want to ask the two of you, I would think there's hardly anybody calling on these people.
No, there's not a
Yeah.
lot of competitors in the field. There's not.
Yeah. Nobody thinks about it. They don't even consider, and they don't have the willingness or the ability or the time or whatever to put together all the assets that you put together. They just don't. They don't have it because, again, like I go back to, trying to do this with companies, and I finally went to B2B and got all the assets, and it changed my world. Sal, you are filled with great questions today. Is this agreement written on specific listed loan products, or does it cover all our products available when this agreement is reached?
it covers all the products that are available for Affinity. So right now, the products that are available are conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, construction, and I'm not saying the other one because I don't want to get in trouble by Morgan. So, so yes, but we are though working with Rob in trying to get that product expanded to possibly having jumbos and DSCR opportunities. So stay tuned for that, because that will be, but it's just one agreement for all of them. And the agreement is only 4 pages. So it's not overwhelming. They're not going to get it and be like, oh my God, like this is a stack of papers that I have to fill out that I don't have time for. So.
And that's another.
Oh, go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
A lot of
Go
our
ahead.
competitors, the agreements are like a correspondent agreement. They're that thick. So for us to come in with something simple that their attorney can digest or their compliance officer can digest is really helpful.
Yeah. So great question from Jessica. When you go into these banks, credit unions, are you trying to get upper management first?
Well, my coworker Jolene is really good with going into just a bank or credit union and acting like they are a customer and wanting to talk to a mortgage loan officer. So, I mean, not saying that you should do that, but I mean, if you go in there and secret shop and then you get right to the loan officer and say, oh, I'm not looking for a mortgage, I'm actually looking to see if you have a provider for your mortgages, blah, blah, blah. So.
Okay. Yeah.
I
So you
like
just
to
want to,
talk.
you want to get your foot. I agree with you, Denise.
Yeah.
Like, just get your foot in the door and drop the hint. And then the loan officer is going to go running to their manager going, we don't have this, because they're already feeling all that pain anyway. We don't have this. We don't have this. We don't have this. Let's at least have an option to have all that, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah,
at some of the smaller institutions, they don't have, you can get to the president or the CEO quicker too. So, I mean, that if it's a small one branch, sometimes they are the loan officer. We've got multiple different banks and credit unions that the president acts as the loan officer on these types.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that with, again, I bank at Key Bank, and they got rid of, it's just, that's your loan officer that runs, you go in there and they do it all.
Mhm.
So that's great. That's a great suggestion to Terrio through the Chamber of Commerce. How do they get started? I know we've been on for a while and people start getting worn out. They get Zoom fatigue. How do they get started? What do you recommend?
Basically, I mean, just with me or with the program, I'm sorry. Like to
Oh,
get started with
getting
the.
started with you. If somebody's.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't know if you meant like where to get started.
How does,
So,
if I'm a loan officer or I'm a branch
got it.
manager, I'm a
Yep.
regional, what do I do? What do I do first?
So I would get with the regional to talk to make sure that they're wanting to take advantage of the program. And then either call me on Zoom, I'm on there, or send me an email and I can go through our basic, boot camp of Affinity. And talk through the basics and come up with a plan to help them grow the business. So I will be doing going forward, I'm still working on a calendar, but doing like monthly training as well. To anyone who wants to hop on a call, and I'll have different topics set out for each month for that piece of it, just to, overcoming objectives or, ways to keep the business. There's a bunch of different things that we can talk about to help maintain that business.
So these guys are going to be at Sales Rally and we're going to have a booth set up and you guys are going to be manning it the entire Sales Rally. 24/7. No, I'm kidding. I just see Denise there at 1 a.m. going, is anyone coming to talk to me? But they will be at Sales Rally manning the booth. So you can go talk to them there and get much more information, but also in between now and then you can reach out to them to visit about more specifics, more detail. And again, if I'm trying to find business, I would pick this up in a second. And as a loan officer, if you're interested in this, talk to your branch manager, talk to your regional if they're not on this call and tell them, look, we want to explore. I want to explore this. I want to talk to Joe and Denise about it. And I want to save you a lot of headache and a lot of time. I would not try to create this yourself. I think it's just again, if you can, how do you make the boat go faster? You figure out the most efficient way to go about this, to go get business. And so if you have to give up a little bit, it is well worth it to do this with Joe and Denise. Any final words as we're wrapping up?
Just want to throw out, there will be some marketing material that will be dropping for Affinity next week. So we're just finalizing that piece of it. So you'll be able to customize that for just some basic marketing material when you go and visit your banks or send out some emails or.
That's great. And to Morgan's point, it all shows up in AMP. AMP is your best friend, right, Morgan? Also, hey, if you didn't see it, we did a big announcement on the deal desk. And again, if you're a branch manager, regional, and you're recruiting, take that image and repost it. Our deal desk is awesome. And so it's about how do we get to yes to help our loan officers. So take a look at that. Also, if you're not in the lending lounge, go to Facebook, find us, and we'll let you in. As long as you're a Supreme employee, we have a whole bunch of other mortgage companies trying to come in. And we're like, no, it's just for us. Anyway, any final words, Joe, as we close it out?
There's a great store in Memphis, inside the Peabody where I get my blazers. George or Mike, whoever asked that.
Gosh.
But don't be shy about reaching out to Denise or I. And once again, we're going to be at Sales Rally. We'll have a booth set up, but we're here. If you want to have questions before that, don't want to wait a couple weeks, reach out, please. We'd be happy to talk to you.
All right. Thank you so much for showing up for Supremely You. Cannot wait to see you at Sales Rally. Bring your hippie vibe. We're going to have so much fun, and just expect an overhug from me. And can't wait to just learn and grow together. And like we said, everything we do is to make sure we help you guys so you can expand your business. Anyway, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Denise. Appreciate you both so much. And thank you for all the work you've put into this. It's a big deal. So, all right, everybody have a great rest of the day. Appreciate the team so much.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye.